Hi, I'm Leanne with ShareWorks Bakery, and today we're going to make a little ghost. So we're going to start with 2 styrofoam balls, hot glue them together. I'm going to use a dowel in the middle and then cut the bottom of the styrofoam. And then I've simply covered it in a really light layer of white clay. So this has like a bowling pin look. That's just the base of the design, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Then we're going to roll out some clay. You want it to be kind of thick because you want the little, it's going to look like a ghost in a, like a little sheet ghost. So you want those little ruffle-like things to be stable and not be too thin so that they don't break. So I have a little bit of black clay on my cookie cutter. Ugh. Anyway, I'm going to roll this out and I'm just cutting a hole in the middle and using that to give me the ability to create this little shape without having to make my round so big that you have all this extra clay around the base. So that gives us all of these ruffles to work with, but them not be too out of hand. Okay, so I'm just gonna twirl it and get the little ghost the way I like it. Okay, and then with the hole that we've cut at the top, I'm just going to gently bring up the clay. Now with this, you don't actually have to cover the whole thing. So, it doesn't have to look perfect. I just want enough clay up and around what will be his face, but it doesn't have to go to the very top, because the very top we're going to have a little hat. Okay, so now we have this little shape. I just turned it until I found the side that I think would be the best for the front. And I'm gonna choose some cute little eyes for our ghost. Put them right about there. I will super glue them in later. And then I'm gonna put some details on here. I'm gonna give him some eyebrows. I will give him a little mouth. And then we're gonna put some blush on him. Okay, so here we have our little ghost so far. So then the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna get some orange clay. I'm using a light orange. And we're going to, I have a mat here, and you can't see it, but this has a print that looks like crochet or something knitted. So we're going to give him a little knitted hat. So I'm going to roll my clay out on my mat. So I have this cute texture to the clay, and then I'm going to, well, I think this needs to be bigger, but we'll see. Oh, and then we want to give him a little cap before we put this on, so he has like some. So this can be any color. This part can be any color. It doesn't have to match the orange because we're going to be covering it, but you want to give him kind of something that's going to go under his cap. Okay, I'm going to stretch it carefully because we don't want to lose all of that detail. But if we lose some of it, it'll be okay because we can go back and kind of add a little bit after. So for this size styrofoam ball, the head that I'm using, my cookie cutter was way too small, but that's okay. We'll make it work. So I'm going to just add a little bit here. If you use a larger cookie cutter, then you won't have this problem. But we're just going to add some more material to his hat. I'm just going to cut the back. And now he has this little cap so far. So I have a seam over here because I had to add that extra clay. So I'll show you how you see these little areas that don't match. So I'm just going to go in and use this same mat to add that same texture and blend in that added piece of clay. So now he has a uniform looking little knit cap. All right, so now I'm going to get a little bit more of the same color. You could change your color if you want to and make it like a two-toned cap. I'm going to just stick with this. So this is air dry foam clay, and it's pliable, super fun to work with, easy to maneuver, and it doesn't have to be baked or anything. It's very lightweight when it's dry, so it's just a really fun medium to work with. So I'm going to roll this little worm out, and I'm going to just add the border to his little cap, just like that. And I'm going to make sure it's attached nicely all the way around. And then I'm going to get a clay tool, and we're going to add some detail to his cap. And this will help make sure that the clay is all stuck together so that there's no separation as it dries, but also it gives it that cute little cap look. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that same color, and I'm going to get a toothpick for that security and put this down on top. You could use glue if well, you should use glue if your clay has dried at all, but this is still wet, so these two things will stick just fine. And I think I'm going to give him like a little bit of pom-pom look to his little cap. Okay, let's make it smaller. Add some more of that. There we go. Okay. Okay, and so I just gave her a little bit of detail, a little bit of glitter, a donut, so she has all of her fall goodies. She's ready. All right, and here is our little ghost friend with her little cap and donut. Here are her little friends, all cute and spooky with their coffee, their pumpkin spice coffee, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any suggestions on something you'd like me to try, leave the comment for me and I'll try to do it. You can also check out my Facebook page. I have lots of cuties that I advertise for sale over there on my Sugarworks Fakery page, and you can find them in my Etsy shop. So you guys have a fabulous day and see you next time.